using the things over here. I'm going to answer questions. I'm going to do something that needs a volunteer toward the end. And at the very end of the show, I think there'll be time enough for me to put every kid here who wants to be inside a bubble. Whoa. Okay? No one has to go, but if you want that opportunity, I want to give it to you today. Okay? So before I start, I've got a couple of rules. How come big people always have rules? What do you think? What do you think? What? Because we're older. We have rules because we're older. Maybe we have rules because we have too much time on our hands and we just spend time making up rules. Why else do you think we have rules? What do you think?
Listen.
What?
Listen.
People listen.
What? Listen. Okay. So, I have rules to try and keep you safe because I don't want anyone getting hurt ever in any of my shows. So, I'm going to make some bubbles and put them out over where you are. What are you going to want to do? Pop them. That's the only answer I ever get down here. Back there, people will say, oh, I want to watch them. I want to see the colors. I want to see what shapes they make. No, down here it's, I want to pop them. And it's okay for you to pop them, but if you jump up and run around to pop them, this is going to get way too crazy. So the first rule is that while I'm performing today, you have to stay seated. If you understand that, could you put your hand up? Excellent. Thank you. Second, I will be putting some bubbles out over you. If you're sitting here and a bubble, it comes right over your head. And as you're looking up at it, it pops. What could happen? Yeah, so when the bubble pops, it forms little droplets. They're a little soapy. Some of them could get in your eye. It's not a great big deal, but if you're worried about it, and as you see a bubble coming to you, pop it in front of you. If it comes right up over your head and you're worried about it, just look away and it won't get in your eyes, okay? So let me put on some music and let's make some bubbles. Who is it? Do you know what happens when my bubbles hear music? They want to dance. They know how to do a waltz. They can do a cha-cha. They can do a shimmy. And they can do a break dance. Okay, great. Yeah, that's a cheap joke, I agree. Sitting down. Guys, sitting down. So, would you guys like to see a trick? Yeah! Okay. This is called the invisible bubble trick. Inside that bubble, there's an invisible bubble. Can you see it? No, because it's invisible. Got to keep listening. But I can make it visible if I can reach my hand up inside, grab a hold and pull it out. Here goes. It's just over my fingertips. Got it. Now, I think if you take one out, you ought to put one back. It only seems fair. Hey, sitting down and staying behind the blue line. Thank you.
I know.
So let me show you another version of that one. Sitting down, sitting down, sitting down. And one last try at this. This one's a tough technical trick. I can't always do it. But that's not the trick. The trick now is to get one on the inside of the inside bubble. Oh, it was there for a moment. Let me try again. There it is. Oh. There it is. Bubble, in a bubble, in a bubble. All right. So, thank you. So who can tell me what it takes to make bubbles? Soap, what else?
Water.
Water. What else? What goes inside the bubble? What did I put inside there?
Air.
Air. Good. Soap, water, and air. What else? Ooh. Hi, honey. I don't want you reaching over the line, okay? Can you stay back behind? Thanks. What else did I just use? My hands. When you guys make bubbles, do you use one of these?
Yeah.
And it works pretty well. You know, you can wave it like that. You can blow like that. But the next time, hang on. Hang on, one of my props is missing. The next time you do that, get yourself a straw. Isn't that cool what you can do just by adding a straw to that? So, when I was in high school, I did a science project on soap films. It wasn't a very good science project, but as I was playing around with it to learn as much as I could about soap films and bubbles, I discovered that if I got my hand all soapy and I did this, I could make bubbles with one hand. Have any of you ever done that? Some kids do that when they're in a bubble bath or when they've got shampoo. But I also discovered that if I use two hands, I could do this. And I also discovered that I could do this. And I also discovered I could do this. Okay, but guys, you gotta sit down. Sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. Okay. So, and I just developed it on into an act because I enjoy doing this so much. Okay. You all still with me? Good. So, I love blowing bubbles with my hands. There's something magical about having a bubble on your hands. You know, you can stretch it and you You can make snowmen out of it and all sorts of things. Guys, got to sit down. Sitting down, thank you. But supposing we wanted to make bubbles, but we didn't have a bubble wand, and we weren't going to do bubbles using our hands,
Yes.
what else could we use to make bubbles? What do you think? What is it? Bubble sticks. Okay, I'm not sure what those are, but okay. Any other ideas for what to use to make bubbles? Hands. What else? Yeah, a coat hanger. Great. Any other? I'm sorry? An earring. And you know, nobody's mentioned an earring yet in all my shows. Thank you.
Paper roll.
What else could you use?
A paper roll.
The roll of paper. Yes, okay. What else?
Baskets from fruit, the fruit baskets, the plastic fruit baskets.
Yeah. Good. Berry basket. What else? A straw. Yeah. So I got to wondering what all I could use. And so I took a box and I wandered around my house and put things in it. And today is a challenge. I'm going to see if I can make bubbles 30 different ways in 3 minutes using things that weren't designed to make bubbles at all. Okay, so let me do this. Could I get one of you to help me with this? Can you press that once? It starts counting seconds. That stops and that goes back to regular time. What I want you to tell you is just press it once and call off to me every 30 seconds. 30 seconds, a minute, minute and a half, 2.5. Can you do that? Yes. Yes. Loud enough that I can hear, please. Thanks. Okay, so the librarian is going to call off every 30 seconds to me to try and keep me on pace, but I'm going to need your help as well. When I'm up here making bubbles, I want you to give me credit when I've made bubbles with one of the objects because I forget how many objects I've done. So when I make bubbles with the first object, I want you to say, 1. And when I make it with the second, you're going to say, 2. And we'll keep going and see if we can get to 30 in 3 minutes, okay? Okay. You guys ready to count? Yeah. Okay. Some of you are way back and may not be able to see what's up here. So each time I pick something up, I'll tell you what it is I'm using. And why don't you start the clock? Okay. Now. Start. Good. So here's a music CD that I'm never going to play again. Oh. 1. Here's a toy that stretches out to become a frisbee. It's a really fun toy. 2. Here's a plumbing fixture. 3. Here's a clamp. 4. Here's the center of a roll of tape. 5. Thank you. Here's an eye hook. 6. Here are 3 coins from Costa Rica taped together. 7. Here is a paper clamp. 8. Here's a berry basket somebody mentioned. 9. Here are some beads. Nope. Not yet. 10. Here's a spatula. Thank you. Here's a piece of coat hanger wire someone mentioned. 12. Here's a hairband. 13. Here's some scissors. 14. Here's a wrench. 15. Here's a bottle opener. 17. Here's a fork. 18. Here's a box of raisins. 19. Here's a coat rack. 30 seconds. Here is a rusty tin can. Here's a Pringles can. 22. Here's a screen. There is another kind of plumbing fixture. 24. Here's a measuring cup. 2 minutes. 25. Here's the center of a roll of paper towels, somebody mentioned. 26. Here's a French whisk. 27. Here's a straw. 28. Here is an egg carton.
29.
Here's a hat. 30. So what can you use to make bubbles?
Anything.
Almost anything if you use your imagination. Let me move this out of the way. About 10 years ago, I went to a party, and I wanted to make some big bubbles there. But I didn't want to bring a great big pan. I didn't want big hoops and gallons of mixture. I wanted something I could put in a backpack and still be able to make big bubbles. So I used my imagination. I thought, I wonder what would happen if I took 4 sticks, 4 rods, tied them together with some flexible tubing at the corners, and covered them over with fabric. Let me show you what came out of that.
Let's see a bubble, Mommy.
Do you guys want bigger? This is America. No one ever says no to that question. Do you want bigger? Was that bigger? You want bigger?
This would be too cool for motorcycles.
Do you want bigger? When I was growing up, you didn't get to used to yell in a library. It's kind of cool. All right, so when I do bubbles outdoors, I use long poles and big loops. And this doesn't always work indoors, but let's see what we can get. Let's try different. So what do you think that's going to make? So I call this the Mercedes-Benz of bubble blowers.
Well,
Well, they're yours. Let me do that again. One of them popped. Once you see openings, 1, 2, 3 bubbles. What's it going to make?
Spider web.
It's going to make a spider web?
Yeah.
I hope not. What's it going to make? 100. Can you count them for me? Let me know if there's 100 here, okay? I've never been able to count those, I gotta tell you. Oh, sometimes when there's some air moving along the floor, this thing will crawl like it's alive. It's kind of cool. There's something else this will do. You know, there's something, I love living in California. There's so many nice things about it. But one thing makes me sad. We never get to see it snow right around our houses, do we? I don't understand that. I grew up in Chicago. We never had that problem there. I don't think we're going to get any snow today, so I've decided to bring you some bubble snow. Remember, please stay seated.
They have this at Disneyland, though.
Here we go. Sitting down, sitting down. As hard as that is.
I got
Simone.
Okay, so